My dog alerted me to something at my window when I was 17. My bedroom had a window looking out at my backyard. The backyard was fenced in, but on the other side of the fence were some woods and a retention pond. I'd never been scared of this and kept the blinds open so that when the sun rose in the morning, the natural light would help wake me up. One night, I was up late on my phone with my dog laying in bed next to me. At around AM, my dog jumped up and started barking at the window. At first, I thought he was just barking at his reflection and told him to stop, but I then realized he was looking at the left side of the window while his reflection was on the right. I couldn't see outside the window because I had left the lamp on my nightstand on. All I could see in the window was the reflection of my bedroom. Not wanting to alert whatever might be out there that I was scared, I faked a yawn, set my phone aside and turned off the lamp. I then laid down facing the window, and I swear I saw a set of human eyes looking back at me from the left side of the window. I drink a lot of water at night, so I had an empty bottle on my nightstand. I grabbed it and pretended to just realize it was empty. I turned on the lamp and acted like I was going to get water. I went to my parents' room and my dad told me not to worry. We had these motion-activated floodlights and they hadn't turned on, so there was no way anything was out there. I went back to my room and told myself I was just seeing things. I closed the blinds and turned off the lamp and got some sleep. When I woke up in the morning, I went to take my dog out and decided to check out the pine straw bedding underneath my window. It was visibly disturbed. I did my best to ignore that and remember what my dad said about the floodlights. That worked pretty well until my dad tested the floodlights later that day and found that the bulbs had burnt out. To this day, I keep my blinds closed and my lamp off when I sleep. I don't want to risk anything being able to see me. And if anything is somehow peeking through my window, I want to know it's there. If there was someone at my window that night, let's not meet. Edit, hey, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone that commented. I typed this out because a project I've been working on caused this memory to resurface. Sometimes just writing something like this down and chucking it into the void helps me deal with it. I'm 22 now, so I'm far enough removed from it that I can mostly just look at it as a weird experience I had. But there is definitely a degree of paranoia left from this and other things I've dealt with. To everyone who has had a similar experience, I hope everything turned out okay and that you're doing well. I've interacted with a few of you in the comments and you all seem like strong people. To anyone who does this peeking through windows shit, fuck off. True story, so I have these Dungeons and Dragons miniatures in my room and they sit on a shelf near my computer. I have a somewhat large collection, but I digress. One night I woke up to a minifig falling off the shelf. Nothing was there, it just fell. I tried to go back to sleep after that, but could only lay there for 3 minutes when I heard scuttling in my room. I got up to see what it was, and there was a figure with bright yellow eyes standing in the middle of my room. They looked to be just standing there until I noticed that they were holding 2 minifigs. They quickly set them down and ran. I was freaked out and decided to just go back to bed. Then when I woke up in the morning, I realized that the minifigs were not ones that I already owned. I have had these things ever since, but I still sometimes look at them at night and they look slightly yellow. Fucking terrified. Okay, so for starters, I live near the APP mountains, which honestly makes this more disturbing. I'm a pretty avid runner. I've been quitting a lot of bad habits and exercise just as the trick for me. I have a greenway behind my house that I can go on run or bikes. It's very beautiful and during the day, plenty of people are there. Well, about a week ago I ran through the greenway to stop by a friend's house and grab something. By the time I got back onto the greenway, the sun was already starting to set and the path was getting dark. As I was walking back through the path, I had my flashlight on and kept looking around me. I felt paranoid being alone in the dark. As I was walking, I distinctly remember hearing my grandma's voice call my name into the tree line. It sounded so real and normal that I turned around instantly, only to immediately go cold, realizing that my grandma's fucking dead. This freaked me the fuck out, but I tried my best to somewhat convince myself that I was just hallucinating. BC, I was paranoid. Only about a minute later, I turned around behind me with my flashlight out of fear. And that's when I fucking saw it. It looked like a grey blob. Pretty much just like a human sprinting at you full speed in the pitch black. I screamed like a little bitch, and don't think I've ever run so fast in my life. When I got home, I tried to laugh it off as me seeing shit and being a little bitch. But about a week later, and I can't stop thinking about it. It sounded so real, I heard her voice clear as day. And the person chasing me looked so real, I've heard all those stories about skinwalkers, and while I doubt their existence, my experience was so similar to that of skinwalker encounters that I'm seriously questioning myself. What do you guys think? Is it possible my brain was just hallucinating out of fear or anxiety? Creeper asked to hold my hand. This was about 10 years ago. I was about 23/24, and I lived in Norfolk on Granby Street, right across from a huge park and a zoo. You could hear the animals from the porch. It was exciting. I have always enjoyed going for a walk or jog at dusk or later at night when all was quiet. Probably a stupid thing to do in the city. This day it was a late night run along the river, and I didn't have my dog with me, as she had already cuddled with my roommate for the night. I was heading back home when a tall dark shadow startled me by stepping out from between two houses. I tried to sidestep him and he tried to make conversation. As I got around him, he grabbed my hand and told me it's okay, I just want to hold your hand. Nervous, my mind racing on how to get out of this, I nodded and said okay, and we walked towards the direction I was heading. We approached a semi-brightly lit building outside spotlights, maybe a school. I knew of a path through the hedges and pulled my hand out of his and said, well, I gotta go this way. He nodded his head and I went around the corner of the building before he could say anything and took off through the hedges like a bat out of hell. I never stopped running until I got to the 711 near my house and had my roommate get up and walk me the half a block home in case the guy had managed to follow me.
This only stopped my late night adventures for a week or so, because I'm stupid, but my pup never missed another one. I never saw that guy ever again, thank goodness.
Obsessed ex-friend made I porn of me. This is a throwaway account since this guy, 18M, is most likely stalking all of my socials and I truly don't want him approaching me again, but anyways. I cut off this guy 17F was friends with for the past 3 months. He's an odd character, major anger issues, and full-on stalker vibes. I decided to befriend him mainly because I'm not the best at making friends myself. Starting this off though, ever since meeting this guy, he has followed me around like a lost puppy, never letting me be alone to concentrate on my schoolwork, always speaking to me, calling me a lot, and spamming my phone. And honestly, that was my first indicator that this guy is a little whack in the head. I'm a very introverted person, and each time I wouldn't be as responsive or focused on my work, he'd respond with anger. Recently though, which is one of the many reasons I cut this guy off, but the topper of it, is that he told me that he had generated porn of myself. He took a picture of me that I already have had of myself in the mirror, and he proceeded to not show me what in the world he had when I have asked to see it. According to him, it was made just in case I ticked him off and he needed to use it as some form as revenge. He said that he does this with all the people he meets, just in case. I'm honestly still in shock, and today, before I had cut him off, he kept finding me around campus. We have morning classes together, so it is very difficult to avoid him. After cutting him off today during my lunch period and proceeded to have him blocked, he has left me be. I am hoping it remains that way. The car chasing me, this happened in 2016-2017. I was on the car on a rural street to a nearby city. A white car was behind my car and it continually drove faster, came near me, got slower and kept distance. Then it repeated to get close to my car and kept distance again and over. The car never tried to overtake my car. I arrived at the city and parked at the train station, a large parking lot a little bit aside from the train station building. I walked towards the building and noticed the parked white car from before. A man was sitting inside. There wasn't another person inside, and also he didn't pick somebody up. It felt like as soon as the man noticed me, he started the car and drove away, and it left the same direction where I came from. I think about that situation until today, and it seems so awkward and strange to me and gives me goosebumps. Girlfriend saw my dead uncle on my living room. Just happened a few hours ago. My girlfriend was freaking out because she said she saw a man in my living room. We go to the room and I don't see anything. I ask her what the man looks like. She describes the exact clothes that my uncle had been buried in a few months ago, that being his Broncos hoodie and sweatpants. I then showed her a photo of my uncle and she confirmed it was the same as what she was seeing. Now, my girlfriend had never met my uncle and she was not there for the funeral. Nobody had told her what he was buried in. So the fact that she described his hair, sunglasses, and the outfit makes me believe her.